Imagine if you had a personalized algorithm that would take better care of you than you can yourself, giving you near perfect physical and mental health. The trade-off is you need to say yes to the algorithm. That means you eat the foods the algorithm tells you to eat. You eat when the algorithm tells you to eat. You go to bed when the algorithm tells you, so you're following the algorithm. Now, there's like a recalibration that happens in your life. Would you opt into it?
You just heard it from Bryan himself. But behind these bold claims lies one of the most radical self-experiments ever attempted. A protocol he calls Project Blueprint. It's a system that costs over $2 million a year, tracks more than 70 organs, and is designed with one purpose: to not die. The tech millionaire Bryan Johnson spends over $2 million a year on a radical experiment. His goal? To reverse his biological age in every single one of his 70 organs. The data says he now has the heart of a 37-year-old and the lungs of an 18-year-old, all while being chronologically 46. He's been called a pioneer, a visionary, a professional rejuvenation athlete, but others see a man trapped in a gilded cage of his own making, a life so controlled, so optimized, that many have called it miserable and dystopic. So, what is the truth behind Project Blueprint? Is this the dawn of a new era for humanity, a future where we can conquer aging? Or is it the world's most expensive, data-obsessed obsession built on a foundation of risky science? We're going to deconstruct the protocol, examine the evidence, and hear from the top doctors and scientists who are sounding the alarm. And hidden within this multi-million-dollar experiment is one secret that could change your life. And it won't cost you a thing. Stick with us as we crack the code on Bryan Johnson's quest to not die. To understand Blueprint, you first have to understand its creator's philosophy. Before the project, Bryan Johnson, the man who sold his payment company Braintree Venmo to PayPal for $800 million, was struggling. He speaks of being overweight and battling chronic depression, controlled by what he calls Evening Bryan, the impulsive, self-sabotaging version of himself that would ruin the progress made during the day. His solution was radical. He decided to fire his own mind. Blueprint is built on the idea of the autonomous self. It posits that the human mind, a storytelling creature, is an antiquated model for making health decisions. The protocol is an algorithm designed to let his organs, his heart, his liver, his kidneys, speak for themselves through data, telling him exactly what they need to be in their ideal state. No more pizza cravings, no more spontaneous decisions, only data. So how does this data-driven life actually work? It's built on 5 architectural pillars. First, the nutritional algorithm. This is a strict 100% vegan diet of around 2,000 to 2,250 calories a day. It's built on meals like super veggie and nutty pudding, and every single calorie has to fight for its life to be included. All food consumption stops by 11 a.m., triggering a daily fast of 16 to 18 hours. Second, the pharmacopoeia. Johnson swallows over 100 pills and supplements every day. This isn't just a multivitamin. It's a complex stack of off-label prescription drugs like the diabetes medication metformin and the potent immunosuppressant rapamycin, alongside targeted compounds like NMN, spermidine, and taurine, all aimed at manipulating the core pathways of aging. Third, the physical engine. This is a daily 1-hour workout designed to optimize everything from cardiovascular fitness to strength and balance, and the results are impressive. He claims a VO2 max in the top tier for an 18-year-old and a single rep leg press of 780 pounds. Fourth, the regenerative regimen. Sleep is treated with absolute rigor. A strict 8:30 p.m. bedtime in a blacked-out, temperature-controlled room. But it goes further, into the realm of the experimental. He uses red light therapy for his skin, high-intensity electromagnetic pulses that he claims are like doing thousands of sit-ups, and even a therapy called IHHT, which involves breathing alternating levels of low and high oxygen air to boost mitochondrial resilience. One of his latest additions, methylene blue, is a synthetic dye he believes boosts mitochondrial function, an experiment notable for turning his urine blue. And the final, most crucial pillar, the measurement system. This is the engine that runs everything. Johnson undergoes constant monitoring of over 50 biomarkers, with monthly blood tests, MRIs, and colonoscopies far exceeding standard medical advice. A key metric is biological age, which he tracks using advanced second-generation epigenetic clocks like the Dunedin Pace clock, a tool that doesn't just estimate his age, but measures the A system this complex, this extreme. Begs the question, does the science actually back it up? When you peel back the layers, you find a protocol of two minds, one part grounded in solid evidence, the other built on speculation and risk. The most scientifically robust part of Blueprint is its diet. The principles of caloric restriction with optimal nutrition are backed by the landmark calorie study, funded by the National Institutes of Health. These trials showed that even moderate calorie restriction improves major risk factors for disease, lowers inflammation, and reduces oxidative stress, all key drivers of aging. But when we get to the supplement stack, the evidence gets much murkier. Take Rapamycin. It's one of the most proven life-extending drugs in lab mice. But in humans, it's a powerful FDA-approved immunosuppressant used for organ transplants, with serious side effects like hyperglycemia and increased risk of infection. Using it for anti-aging is a high-stakes gamble. What about NAD boosters like NMN, popularized by researchers like David Sinclair? They work wonders in animal studies, but the human evidence is dramatically weaker. A 2025 systematic review of multiple clinical trials in older adults delivered a stark conclusion: the current evidence. The science is constantly evolving, and sometimes correcting itself. In 2023, a study in the journal Science suggested the amino acid taurine could extend lifespan in animals. But in 2025, a more robust study, also in This Reliance on Speculative Science, has drawn sharp criticism from leading experts. Dr. Peter Attia, a prominent longevity physician, argues that extreme biohackers like Johnson create a dangerous distraction. He says the public is wasting mindshare on expensive, unproven therapies when they should be focused on the fundamentals that have a near 100% probability of working: exercise, sleep, and social connection. But the single biggest scientific red flag is the one raised by Yale aging researcher Dr. Morgan Levine. Project Blueprint is an uncontrolled experiment on one person, an N of one study. When you're doing over 100 things at once, she says, it's scientifically impossible to deduce any sort of causal link between any single action and the result. Is it the diet, the exercise, the 100 pills, his genetics? No one knows. This lack of clarity has opened the door for competitors. The company Novos Labs points out that their founder, following a less extreme and less expensive protocol, achieved a biological age reduction of 36.6%, over 6 times greater than Johnson's reported 5.5%, according to the same independent lab tests. They also critique Blueprint's lack of dietary diversity, arguing that eating the same meals every day is not ideal for a healthy gut microbiome. And then there's the commercial angle. Project Blueprint isn't just a protocol, it's a company that sells supplements and olive oil, with a basic stack costing over $360 a month. Johnson himself has openly admitted this creates a conflict of interest that undermines his philosophical mission, calling the company a pain in the ass, and stating he's close to shutting it down or selling it because people give me less credibility on the philosophy side. So, after deconstructing the philosophy, the pillars, and the critiques, what are we left with? Project Blueprint is a pioneering, polarizing, and profoundly complex human experiment. It is a testament to the power of data and discipline, but also a cautionary tale about the limits of our current scientific knowledge. The most significant and verifiable health benefits from this multi-million-dollar protocol almost certainly come from its most boring parts. The pillars supported by decades of scientific consensus: a nutrient-dense, calorie-controlled diet, a consistent and challenging exercise regimen, and a rigorous, non-negotiable sleep schedule. These are likely responsible for the vast majority of his incredible health markers, and this reveals the secret hidden in plain sight. The most valuable lesson from Project Blueprint isn't found in the exotic supplements or the expensive machines. It's the radical, unwavering consistency applied to the fundamentals. This is the takeaway echoed by critics like Dr. Attia. The true blueprint for a longer, healthier life for most of us isn't about hacking the system with 100 pills. It's about mastering the basics with a level of dedication most of us never achieve. Eating more whole foods and less processed junk, moving your body in ways that challenge both your heart and your muscles, and treating sleep as the critical foundation of health that it is. Bryan Johnson's experiment is an invaluable, if extreme, data point in the human quest to live better. It forces us to confront the future of health and technology. But it also reminds us that before we try to reverse aging, perhaps we should first master the art of living well. Is a life of perfect data worth more than a life of spontaneous joy? That's a question the algorithm can't answer for us. We explore questions like this every week. If you're curious about the science of aging well, subscribe to The Ageless Protocol